Good evening. Welcome in. Today is March 2nd, 2024, and today is day 52 of 100. 100 days, 100 ways, trails taken. Well, how did you fare after our question yesterday? It's always a question that makes people uncomfortable and makes people cringe a little bit, even when they're, settled in their religion. They're happy in their religion. They're learning, they're growing, they're doing their thing. But when we talk about it, it becomes like a little bit too muddy, a little too sticky, a little too triggering. So we need to be able to speak to each other in those ways and just love one another anyways. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, that was yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on because my eyes are super tired, and these glasses, they make me have this blue reflection. So I'll try not to look at myself. Actually, let me put on my little thing so I don't have to look at myself. All right, that works better for me. Okay, oh, this is kind of a big one too. Past existences. This can also fall a little bit to the religion, to understandings, to this is what the category is, right? Why? The beliefs. So the things that we believe and why we believe them. Past existences, like being reincarnated, being, having knowledge of being here before or being other places before. And yes. Yes, it's very, it's controversial. Also, I think most people, I know myself before I had an understanding of things, that I was like, no, that doesn't happen. That's not a thing. But now I have a different understanding. So the question is, past existences, yes or no? And if yes, do you know or recall when you were here before? Okay, so do you believe in past existences? Have you let that enter into your mind? Are you open to that? Are you triggered by that? Does it make you think, this is like woo-woo stuff, or it just doesn't jive with your current beliefs? Yeah, I have a lot to say on the subject, but as I said, it's later in the evening, and there's a lot of things that I would like to be able to express and talk about and discuss, but there's not a lot of... I know people are just starting to understand the way our lives work, timelines, existences, all the things, right? Like, until you've experienced something and allowed it to enter into you, you won't allow it to be part of your psyche. You won't allow it to be a thing. You won't allow it to be entertained, right? So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my own experiences. So yes, I do believe in past existences. I have experienced a lot of different things on different levels. Okay, we probably all have, but accepting them, understanding them, diving into them, noticing the differences in certain kinds of things, you have to have your own awareness of it before you can have an understanding. And until you allow yourself to look at your the things that made you, then the experiences, the traumas, the stuff. And I'm not saying dive into it. I'm not saying rehash it. There's enough stuff on our plate without going into that stuff, right? We just put it on the trigger list. But for myself, it's a bodily experience of a thing. It's not just saying, oh yeah, I had this dream and I was like lived in this time or whatever, or I was meditating and I was shown I was this or that. It's not about seeing it. It's about feeling it. It's about having a deeper understanding of the thing, of all the sensories that, that you wouldn't know unless you experience them yourself, right? Like, you would know what it smelled like there. You would know what the food tasted like. You would know the sounds, just all the different things that were going on at that time. And the other, on an even deeper level, the knowing, it's a knowing that, yeah, I've seen that. I've been there. This particular consciousness that I carry around with me, this is my vehicle. Right? This is what I'm traveling through this lifetime in. When I think about those time periods, there's even like not just what was happening with my 5, 6 senses. It was, the feelings of love for the people that were there, even though maybe I didn't know who they were. The feelings of loss for those people when things happened. Yeah, it's a very big subject, and we'll get a little bit more into it in the 4th level of the stepping stones. But yeah, it's interesting to start to look at and start to think, could I have been? Is it possible? And our interests and our lineage, what we look like a whole bunch of things, right? Incorporate a little bit, because if you don't have an understanding of it, or if you don't have, no, not an understanding, opposite. If you don't have an experience of something, you can't have an understanding. In my opinion, in my experience of life as I know it today. I'll tell you about a couple of them. One time I was a man, and I was somewhere in the Algonquins, maybe. I was a British soldier, or an officer, not a soldier, I was an officer, and I was in a canoe. I was going with some village people, not those kind of village people, but, like people from an indigenous community. And I was taking a bride with me, and she was a friggin' a beautiful First Nations woman. And I want to say, like Ojibwe, Algonquin, Anishinaabe, like somewhere in there, and other things that go along with, I have like a strong affinity for certain songs and different, landscapes and things. And these are the things, like, why do I feel that way towards them if I've not ever even been there? Like in this particular physical time. Anyways, it's just one of those things, right? It's like, I felt, I could feel all the things. And she wasn't coming with me because she was, sold to me or anything like that. She was coming with me because it was love. Like, we had a mutual thing. We wanted to be together, which is really strange when you're a woman now. And I think it's just a matter of the vehicle that you are in. You embody those things inherently because, right? It's like the masculine and the feminine are in each of us, but maybe in order for us to be born with a gender, one of the things has to be a little bit stronger. I don't know. I'm not really sure how that whole thing works, but there is a thing that decides gender, I think. Ultimately, our DNA is capable of probably everything. And the things that are able to be expressed or not expressed come from, we're predisposed to some things, but then they don't have to be turned on, right? So I think maybe gender, it's possible it works that way too. Not too sure. Also, I think it has a feeling to do with something to do with the mom. I used to be really awesome at looking at a pregnant woman and knowing the sex of the baby. I was 100% correct. I stopped guessing when I got a little bit older because there wasn't a lot of pregnant people around, but my ratio of guessing is 100%. I don't know if I could do it anymore. I don't know. I'm not tapped into that anymore because I was, having my own kids and knowing what it felt like and all the things. Anyways, we're digressing a little bit. The other one that I will share with you right now is like homesteader days, the wagon trains that came across the country when they were building the railroad and things like that. I know I was there. I had a moment where I spoke in tongues. Okay, not like, probably not what you think, but I had this whole different feeling of who I was and an accent that went along with my persona. And I could see my parents sitting on the front porch of an old home with, pretty desolate around it. And I'm up on a hill and I'm looking out of my own eyes. I can't see myself. So these are things too. Actually, I'm hoping to have a dream person on the Women's Wellness Network soon, because dreams are super important too. So we'll talk about that later. But I'm sitting on this hill and I'm looking down at my parents and they're sitting on the front porch and they're rocking, one's on a rocking chair and one's on a porch swing, and it's humble times and they're enjoying each other's company. And yeah, I can still to this day, I can see it in my mind. Extraordinary experiences. And I think we all have them. It's just a matter of, we've been told that's not correct, or this is weird, or whatever it is. If it doesn't fall into line with somebody else's beliefs, then, you're not supposed to believe it either, ultimately. But I think that's what we're learning. That's where we are as a society, as a globe, ultimately, as a collective consciousness. I think we are all starting to understand, right? We need to heal, and we need to have the tools to do it. We need to have the openness to go forward and accept some new things. And we need to be willing. Ultimately, we need to be willing. And when you're ready and you're going to do it, there's no going back, which is absolutely amazing, because I know, I've been there, right? You get towards there, you're close, you're like, I'm going to step over this line and I'm ready to heal. I'm going to do it. But you get to that line and you back off. Time and time and time again. And eventually something happens, something triggers, something, hopefully it's not a horrible trauma. Usually, yeah, right? It's like some kind of dark night of the soul. So coming to the understanding that we can heal before that happens. We can prepare a little bit. We can get ourselves ready, because it's like a passage. It's a rite of passage. And being able to connect with, remember, and utilize those lessons that we learned in other lifetimes. Those are the things that, we don't want to learn again in this lifetime. We have the knowledge there. Just like with dreams, right? We have the knowledge. Seek it. Look for what it might mean. If there's a lesson to take from it, what can you take? And then you don't have to live it in this timeline, right? You don't have to face those traumas if you've already learned the lesson, because right? It's like, once it's in there, it resonates, and that's how you heal other people also. I think it's a resonance. It's an inherent understanding of something that's fundamental. And once we feel it, when people are in our energy, they feel it too. Whether it's just sitting here on a video, talking about it, but feeling it too. And having that, I don't want to say conviction, because it's not a conviction. Convictions are a belief that can't be changed, and that's not even it. I'm sure my understanding of things will be elevated again, as they have been time and time and time again. And it's awesome, actually. So anyways, have a little think about that. I think it's, I think a lot too. And I think these are things I want to maybe change about my vocabulary. And then I don't know what to say when I don't know what to say, but I think I should just be, there I said, I think again. Okay, it's late. My goodness, that is enough. You've heard enough of me talking today. Past existences, whether that has to do with reincarnation, obviously they're kind of tied together. If you believe it or you don't believe it, that's perfectly fine. I think when we have an understanding on a little bit deeper level, there is a little bit more, our container's bigger. We can hold more information, right? We let go of the whatever, the hard, fast belief, and we can allow something else to seep in. And that's, I don't know. I think that's good. I don't know. I think, and if I take all those words out, this video would be, at least probably 5 minutes shorter. Okay. Anyways, it's a great Saturday. Have an awesome day. I had a really great day today myself on a personal level. And I wish that for you all every day going forward. Okay. Have a great evening and be well.